I ain't gonna be nothing but a couple of minutes on this. Just I just wanna really speak to a lot of people that might be fighting and going through stuff like I'm going through right now. God had gave me a message way back in 2016, 2017, called the Two Pillars of Seven, and the message had to do with Joseph. His brothers, Joseph's brothers selling him into slavery and him going down to Egypt and being elevated, because God gave him the interpretation of Pharaoh's dream or about, a famine and stuff. And so it come back to me again at the beginning of this year to work on it. And it was so heavy up on me when it came back this time. It was like I was waking up and going to sleep reading it, and studying. And it was speaking to me in a powerful way. But for the last couple of weeks, since I've been trying to put it together to get it out and reveal it, I mean, all kinds of stuff happening. Going to church, coming about the church worse than I'm going in. Waking up, fighting and doing all kinds of, going through all kinds of stuff, trying to take and get focused so I can take and put it together and give it like it's being revealed to me. Because it's stuff there that I wasn't seeing years ago. And it began to really speak to me in a big way this year. So anyway, make a long story short, I've been struggling to pray. So, I was back there, trying to clean up my room and get that stuff together too, because we had the new windows and stuff put in my room. So anyway, I ended up back there trying to straighten up a little bit, and I found my old book. You see, it's all wore out. Just a book that John Acar wrote. Let me get on my glass because I can't see nothing. There's a book that John Acar wrote years ago, Prayers That Root Out Demons. And, I got it. So these last 3 or 4 days, because I've been struggling so much to take and pray, I get down on my knees and it just be a whining in my soul, in my spirit. And I ain't gonna say that was the Holy Spirit. I'm gonna say that my soul and my spirit was whining, it was crying out, because all the battle and stuff that it was doing. And I just ain't really been able to pray. So I just, when I found it, I said, okay, I asked the Lord, direct me to what I can should read from out of. So this morning, when I got up, and I was sitting here, back hurting, just, laying down, I know I need to be praying. I know I need to be praying before I go to sleep, and I just ain't been able to get there. So this morning I get up again like I did the other day, and I asked the Lord, what should I read from out? Because I keep it sitting right here, on the table with all my books and stuff. And it came to me to read chapter 72. So I go to chapter 72, and I realize when the chapter start off, I think this is it, right? When the chapter start off, you got half of something there's a part of something else on 71. So what I did is I went back to 71, and when you go back to 71, they got prayers against Jezebel. And this chapter goes all the way over to chapter 71, go all the way over to chapter 72. So what I did is I read the first part of this in 71 that come into 72, and then I read also what was in 72 and in 73. And as I was reading it and praying the Lord, because each time I read it, I go like this. This is how I use this book to pray. First, thank the Lord, for allowing me to see another day, and ask Him, what I mean, to hear me as I'm talking to Him, praying to Him, and to help me. So I start off saying, Mighty God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, I loose the hounds of heaven against Jezebel, as I invoke the power of 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 23. I plead the righteous blood of the Lamb on my soul, spirit, heart, mind, and body, and I ask you for your help. And then I go on, I read the next Next one, I rebuke and bind the spirits of witchcraft, lust, seduction, intimidation, adultery, and whoredom connected to the spirit of Jezebel. And I ask for your help. I plead the righteous blood of the Lamb over my soul, spirit, heart, mind, and body. So anyway, as I'm reading each part of it, I plead the blood. I thank the Lord. I thank the Heavenly Father. And I go on to the next part. And as I got down further in this and going over the next page, the Spirit spoke out of me. Spirit said, I'm not playing fair. I mean, just like I'm talking to y'all, this is how the Spirit spoke up out of me. Say, you ain't playing fair like that. Up out of me. And I'm sitting up there saying to myself, I say, now this has been going on for quite some time now. And, I hear certain people talking about, that a real believer or a real Christian can't be demon possessed. But we have witches and warlocks that's in the church. And some of my leaders, and they practicing this kind of stuff and they good with it. Real good with it. And I'm talking about, because I won't go along with certain stuff, the witches and warlocks have really been let loose on me. And I still ain't gonna bow down. Period. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm going to speak the truth. What's going on right now, not just in the church, but in the world, it's messed up. And for us to really understand this, people need to read the book of Ezekiel chapter 8. I heard Jeremiah Johnson taking a preaching on it. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, and he talked a little bit about it. And he went to the verse where he said, the Lord had took Ezekiel and Tim. Y'all know I have taught on this many times, but. He was teaching on it, and he zeroed in on this one part right here, Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 8, and says, then said he unto me, Son of man, dig nigh in the walls, and when I had digged in the walls, behold, a door. And then he went down, and he said unto me, go in, and behold the wicked abomination that they do here. Okay, so he basically was, pointing Ezekiel to, because he was telling them dig in the wall, whatnot, go in and look. So as he was showing Ezekiel this stuff, he was revealing to Ezekiel the things that was going on in the church. In order for us to really understand this, how this has not just been an affection in the church, but an affection in the world, we must hear what God is saying in verse 17. Because of verse 17 said, then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? Listen to this. Then they have filled the land. They have filled the land with violence and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose. Now, we know that the branch was standing because of Jesus dying for our sin. We know that this is Old Testament, but God also had a branch extended in them because they was of a seed of David, of the seed of Abraham. So the branch was already extended. And it got extended to us once Jesus came in. But anyway, what I'm saying to y'all is that, if somebody is telling y'all that a person that's a believer can't be, how can I say, I can't explain this in the right way, so I'm just going to say it like this. All this about a true believer can't be demon possessed. Yes, they can. All this about witchcraft and warlocks and stuff ain't in the church there. In a big way. A lot of these spirits that's leading a lot of these men and women of God right now ain't spirits of God. They're familiar spirits. And I realized that, the first 5 years, I was so full of God's spirit that that when stuff started to changing over, I should have known that then that something was going on to where the presence that I had wasn't really there in a way that it was supposed to be. And I realized that I wasn't speaking out on things that God was revealing to me. So therefore, God might have gave me over to a reprobate mind. Almighty just said, I'm going to back up and let him know that it's me that's speaking to him, that's telling him about these things that's happening in church. Because a lot of this stuff I'm hearing, a lot of people talking about now, when God first saved me, first thing he got to talking to me about was the spirit of Jezebel, cliques in the church. This ain't no lie. This is on everything I love. First thing he got to talking, cliques in the church, spirit of Jezebel. He got revealing to me about how women held on to them old ways, that the stuff that they used to do to slave masters, they was doing to their own men and own people. And I'm sitting up here because I didn't know nothing about none of this. I didn't know what the spirit of Sars was. The spirit of Sars is a familiar spirit. That's what it is. If you go and you look it up, Sars is a familiar spirit. And God was revealing all this stuff to me back then, but I didn't understand none of it. So anyway, what I'm really trying to get to in here, God had me reading Ezekiel chapter 8 for over a decade, y'all. The first thing he had me read was Ezekiel chapter 33, then it was Ezekiel chapter 33, 34, 35, and then it switched over to Ezekiel chapter 8 and chapter 9. And then chapter 7 came in 2015. But I've been reading this ever since then. Now he got me just reading chapter 9. First Samuel chapter 3, Ezekiel chapter 9, and Micah chapter 2, verse 1 and 3. I've been reading that every day. He no longer has me in 8, he has me in 9. Speaking about the judgment of the church. And I know that these people that I'm battling with, a lot of them, because I see certain prophets in the spirit realm all the time. I'll be like, okay, Lord, why is I'm seeing such and such? Lord, why is this going on? I receive names of men and women of God all the time. All the time. And some of them, I might just receive that one man or woman name all day long. I'll be saying to myself, okay, I ain't going to even respond to it. But this morning that they hear this person, which sounds just like a woman, speak out of me in that way, I said, okay. You know what I mean? And I couldn't really do nothing but thank God for me finding this book again, because it was what I was reading in this book, because I couldn't really get on my knees and pray, that was helping. You can tell when the other side don't like you having something that would take and help you. So what I'm really trying to say to y'all, and you say, is you endorsing this? Heck yeah, I'm endorsing it. Because it's like the third time in a week I done went to this book and been guided to read something out of it, where I done got manifestation of other spirits being there. I done prayed before in spirits and lifted up off me and stuff out about it, but I'm talking about straight, flat out manifestation of stuff that's there that shouldn't be there. And in here and in this prayer about Jezebel, it speaks about how Jezebel are coming against the men and the women of the church that are serving God. And the spirit of Jezebel is operating in such a powerful way in the church now, and has been for a while. But, she done really increased her presence. She can operate in a man just as well as a woman, okay? Just as well as a woman. This stuff is straight up real. And a lot of these men and women of God, they know that this spirit is in the church operating. I done walked in churches and I done seen the python spirit sitting up on a pulpit in the church, just sitting there. And I was sitting up there thinking, okay, well, maybe the spirit's sitting there because this man or this woman of God, they got anointing and the power to subdue the spirit. So I'm thinking like that, you know what I mean? Okay, this man, this woman, God, they got to, they know how to, bind the spirit. That's where I'm looking at, but not knowing that the spirit of divination is operating in the church, not understanding that. But anyway, I didn't want this to be real long, so I'm getting ready to get off here. I recommend this book to anybody that's struggling to pray right now. Going by again, the book is by Apostle John A. Carr, and it's called Prayers That Rout Demons, that rout demons. Okay, and they tell you different stuff to go to. I just be asking the Lord, okay, like this morning I asked him, what should I read in that? And it comes to me just like this 72. Bam, just like this. So, and the spirit spoke out of me, talking about I ain't playing fair. Completely took over me as I was reading this, and I'm hoping that it's not there now because I seen something real dark lift up off me. But you can get stuff like this to help you till you can get back to where you at. So that's what I've been doing lately. I got other books in there that speak about stuff like that too. But this one used to always be my go-to, and I'm glad that I found it again. So I started back reading. But it's real, y'all. And when y'all know there's something that's going on in the church, before you leave, at least try to go and talk to your pastor. And let your pastor know that, hey, such and such going on. I don't want to be judgment. I love it here, you know what I mean? And I realized before I kind of up and just left the church like I did, you know what I mean? I should have went in and talked to my pastor, but I know that I had tried to talk to him many times before about this one particular spirit, because Jezebel, because God had kept on telling me to go and talk to him about to go and let him know, and I did after 2 years of God constantly telling me that. I finally, because first I was like, how I look going and talking to somebody that he a pastor, he my pastor, he should know if the spirit. That's where I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? So I didn't for 2 years, but after that, I told him 2 more times after that. After the first time. And then one day was in Bible study and I just spoke it out loud, and I said that we all need to be helping pastor, fight against this spirit of Jezebel. I just spoke it out loud. If he see it, I ain't lying, you know what I mean? But, at least go and talk to your pastor, let him know, you know what I mean? Because, stuff like this is going on church. It's real. And some of these men and women of God, they won't put their foot down against the spirit because this particular person, might help bring in a lot of people to the church. If she or he is bringing a lot of people in the church and they operating out of their spirit, then the people that he bringing into the church going to be affected by it. That's why it's wrong for certain people to be elevated to another level in a church when they in bondage themselves. So like I said, it's real. If you're taking a battle and you don't know what to say, you need a little help, order the book. You know what I mean? Get the book. There's other books out here too, but I know this last week, I'm talking about been really struggling, so if I don't get around to, I ain't going to speak against it. God's going to help me take and do what I need to do if he still want me to give this message. So bottom line to all this is it's real. Sorcery, witchcraft, voodoo is real. But, God got the final say-so in it. Because as I saw him this morning, reading this book and pleading the blood of the Lamb, that spirit spoke out of me and something dark lifted up off me. And that's the truth. You know what I mean? So if you're struggling like I am, get the book and just walk around the house reading. Because sometimes I walk back and forth up in here just reading it. You know what I mean? His battle is real. There's a lot of stuff that's getting ready to come. And anybody that, you constantly partying and doing this, that, and the other, instead of using that money every weekend and going start stacking up on you some canned goods. start stacking up on you some rice and your beans. If your children don't eat rice and beans before it's all over with, they're going to be eating it. You know, they're going to be eating it. You know, it's finna get bad. You know what I mean? Like I've been hollering since the beginning of this year. You know, when I first started saying that, I think it said 18 months. Then I said between the 18 and the 21 months. So I'm just going to say between now and September of next year, 2025, you're going to see a lot of the things that God had been really revealing to me over the years to warn y'all begin to happen. A lot of things that other men and women of God have been trying to warn y'all about begin to happen. You know, it's going to, you know. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. I love you. Hey, what's going on, man? You know, love y'all. So I'm going to get off here because I got to finish reading what I'm reading. Then I want to go out here and outside and just sit on the porch for a minute, work on the yard. I love y'all. Have a blessed day.